I just checked my email and got some amazing news. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna head over to campus and I will see y'all there. Just got out of a COVID-19 vaccine briefing. I took notes and I got some info for y'all. What's up YouTube, and welcome to another week in the life of a medical student. If you're new here, my name is J.R. Smith. I'm a first year medical student at the Mayo Clinic, and I make videos where I share tips, strategies, and resources for pre-meds and medical students, as well as vlogs like these. So if that floats your boat, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. So I have a ton to do this week and I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. It's currently Monday, 5:30 in the morning, and because I have so much to do, I'll probably be waking up around the same time every day this week, but I'm gonna fill you guys in on that in a bit. As of now, I'm gonna grab some Spark, get some caffeine in my system, and crank through this morning Anki.
I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. They said same Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. Frozen, neck is frozen. Catch me rolling, I'm the chosen. Snow is falling, Elfie's calling. Check my list twice, most of y'all done. Sleigh bells ringing.
Alright, we are done with our Anki. It's about 6:40 in the morning. I have grand rounds for orthopedic surgery again at 7. Every Monday we have grand rounds. This is again a time where consultants, these are the attendings at the hospital or residents, present a case, and just is a learning opportunity for people to kind of tune in, and it's a nice opportunity for medical students to not only learn something, but then kind of just begin to build a network with some of the consultants who are presenting and other people who are involved. So that starts here in about 20 minutes. I wanted to quickly fill you guys in on what I have expected for the rest of the week before I head over to grand rounds. And so this week is going to be busy because it's going to be my first week starting on my basic research project. So my first week getting into the lab, I'm going in and I'm going to have a lab tour, and I'm going to be meeting with some of the investigators on this project and some of the consultants who I'm going to be working with. So super exciting. I've never done wet lab research before in my life, so we'll see how that goes. And this is also my final week of my science and healthcare delivery block, so I'm going to be presenting our final group project here on Friday. So you guys will see how that goes. And then I also have another course called Disruptions in Development that I have to go to on Thursday. And this is going to be fun because we're actually going to be broken up into small groups, and we'll be depicting a developmental stage conflict according to the Erickson stages. And so we're kind of going to be in small groups, and we'll kind of act out a skit via Zoom to kind of just show some developmental conflicts that people experience depending on whatever Erickson stage that they're in. So that's going to be fun. I'll again keep you guys in the loop, and you guys will see every step of the way. But I'm going to maybe grab some breakfast here and get ready for this ortho grand rounds, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, it is now around 3:30. Just got finished with my class. I got to step out of this room to update y'all because I've been here too long and it's wearing me down. I'm tired. Zoom just hits different. It just hits different. So I just got out of my lecture. Again, we had lecture in my science and healthcare delivery class from about 8 to 2. And then I met with my group. We have a group presentation on Friday. So we just kind of did an introductory meeting with my group at 3 for about 30 minutes just to kind of go over what exactly we need to do, who will be doing what, and stuff like that. We're going to meet again on Wednesday this week to kind of fine tune things. But during my breaks throughout the day, whether that was 10 minutes or an hour, I was able to kind of get some of the training that I have to get done. I still have some left to do that I'm going to finish up today related to my basic research project. So we have to kind of do some things and just kind of go through these modules in preparation for my basic research project. And that will actually be starting. I'm actually going to be going into lab for the first time later this week. So of course you guys are coming along for the ride. I'm super excited for that, but I had to do this training. So it's nice if I'm just sitting at my computer anyways and the professor gives us 10-15 minutes to not do anything, then I just go to the other side of my monitor and finish this training. So we're gonna crank through that. You see Blaze over there chilling next to his window. Let's see what he's talking about. But I am tired of looking at a computer screen, so I'm gonna take some time and just look out of this window with Blaze and hang out for a little bit. Madison should be getting home here in about 30 minutes. It's nice when I wake up early, I get all of my mandatory things that I have to do done with early in the day, so that by the time Madison gets home and the time that the day is winding down and I'm exhausted, I don't have too many things that I need to do. I still need to finish up some of that training, but that'll be it. And then I'm gonna call it a day because It looks like we're both tired. So I'm gonna see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, you see I have made it back to my office, and you see I'm looking tired. But the other group that I'm in, the group where we're kind of acting out that skit related to the Erickson stages of development, we decided that we're just gonna go ahead and meet today so that we don't have to think about it anymore for the rest of the week. And so we're gonna meet here in a few minutes, and then hopefully I'll be done, at least with meetings, and then I'll finish up some of this training that I have to do. But you saw my last vlog, there was not much to do. It's not the case this week, but we're just gonna keep on pushing. We're gonna keep on pushing. Pray for you, boy. Hope everybody's doing well. Perfect timing. Before my meeting started, Madison got home. Who's here? Who's here? Is that Mom? Who's here? Who's here? Sit. Sit. Stay. Go get her. Hi. What's going on, guys? It is now Tuesday, about 5:20 in the morning. I have class today, lots of class from like 8 to 5. We have like an hour break from noon to 1. And during that time, I'll probably continue to do the training that I have to do for research, because I didn't finish that last night. I also have to write a few essays for the class that I'm in. We don't have an exam for a final. We have a group project that I met with my group about. I talked to you guys about that yesterday. And then 6 essay questions. And I'm one of those people who would much rather take an exam than write an essay. So I'm going to have to get going on those, make sure that those are done. All of this is due at the end of the week, because this is my final week of the semester. I'm about to be a second semester first year med student. That'll get me through this week, just knowing that. But y'all know the drill.
They said same Nick, but you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack, hurt my back, yeah. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen. Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. No, I can't forget about the one with the red nose. When I fly high.
Alright, guys, so it's about 6:45-ish. We finished our Anki about 30 minutes ago, and I just got back from the basement. I did a quick workout, which actually has me a little more energized, ready for the day. So I'm gonna hop in the shower now, catch my breath, maybe do a little bit of that lab training that I have to do before class starts, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, guys, it is 8:30. Class is just starting. I've been spending about an hour or so working on my lab training. Still have some to do, but it was nice to get some done. I wanted to quickly fill you guys in on what exactly I'm going to be doing for my basic research. So it's centered around regenerative medicine, which is something that I'm extremely interested in. It's this idea that we can use the body's innate ability to regenerate to influence healing in certain aspects where the body may not necessarily heal or heal properly. So of course, the things that I do, especially related to research, are going to be in terms of orthopedics and orthopedic surgery. And so what we're looking to do is to see how we can apply regenerative medicine to avascular necrosis of the femoral head, which is a pathology that does not have an ideal treatment in orthopedics. But again, like I said, class is starting, so I'm going to head to class. We have class from 8 to noon, then a break, and then we have class again from 1 to 5. So I'll keep you guys posted. Pray that I make it through this long day of lectures, and I'll see y'all later.
The reason this could occur so fast is that these vaccines had already been developed in the context of SARS and MERS and Zika, and it's simply a blueprint. It is just a synthetic, not cell-based. These are not grown in cells. There are no antibiotics or preservatives in this. It's just a simple blueprint that then is incorporated into a lipid nanoparticle. Translation occurs in the ribosome of the host cell, and spike protein is produced.
All right, y'all, I just got out of a COVID-19 vaccine briefing. I took notes, and I got some info for y'all. Now, quick background on the vaccines. There's actually 2 companies who produce these vaccines independently of each other, the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine was approved for emergency authorization on December 10th of 2020. Now, for the Moderna vaccine, it has not been approved for emergency authorization yet, but it is going to be reviewed on December 17th, 2020, and it's expected that it's going to be approved. Now, these two studies had pretty large sample populations. In the Pfizer vaccine, there was a little over 43,000 people, and in the Moderna vaccine, there was a little over 30,000 people who were in these respective trials. And the results from both have been very promising, with the Pfizer vaccine reporting 95% efficacy and the Moderna vaccine reporting 94.1% efficacy. And it's also important to note that there was a lot of diversity in these trials. In the Pfizer trial, for example, over 17,000 people identified from a community of color. In the Moderna trial, over 11,000 people identified from a community of color. Now, in the Pfizer trial, if you only had one dose, it showed 82% vaccine efficacy compared to 95% vaccine efficacy for people who had both doses. So it's important that you do get both of these doses, again, at least 21 days apart. And vaccine efficacy was also extremely high, even in patients with prior comorbidities. So, for example, patients with hypertension still had a 95.4% efficacy, obesity 95.4%, diabetes 94.7%. And because people with prior comorbidities are at such higher risk to experience symptoms related to COVID, these numbers are extremely promising. Now, in terms of people who they recommend get the vaccine, they recommend people aged 16 or older, and they also include people who are pregnant, lactating, immunocompromised, or who have had a prior COVID-19 infection. Now, people who they recommend do not get the vaccine are people who are younger than 16 years old or people who have a history of anaphylaxis to previous dose or components of Pfizer vaccines. They also included a section for people who want to take precautions, and this includes people with severe allergies to IV medications. And they also say to delay this vaccine at least 14 days after getting other vaccinations. Now, in terms of adverse effects that have been reported from getting this vaccine, these include things like fatigue, which was reported in 4.2% of people, headache, which was reported in 2.4% of people, muscle pain, which was reported in 1.8% of people, chills, which was reported in 1.7% of people, and injection site pain, which was reported in 1.4% of people. Now, all that tallied up equals 8.8% of people who reported these types of symptoms after having the vaccination. It's also important to know that the people who did experience these symptoms, for the most part, experienced them on day 2 or day 3 after receiving their second dose of the vaccine. But these symptoms started to wane as time went on. Now, of course, there are still unknowns related to this vaccine, and that's why there's so much skepticism right now going on regarding that. And of course, I need to bring you all of the facts, including the stuff that we don't know. So the things that we don't know what impact this is going to have on asymptomatic infections or transmission. And that is why masking, social distancing, hand hygiene, all of that stuff is still important. We also don't know the duration of immunity and if there's going to be a need for boosters. And because this is still new and expedited in the way that it was, we don't know if there's any potential for long-term vaccine adverse effects. Now, at the conclusion of the briefing, one of the faculty members had an incredible quote that I wrote down and I wanted to share with you guys. He said, "Life is about balancing risk and reward, and this will be different for everyone. But rather than being emotional in our decision making, we should be rational, and this relies on the utilization of evidence in each decision we make." And so I know that people are going to feel different types of way about the vaccine, but I just want to urge everybody to use the facts and the evidence that is out there and not hearsay or conspiracy to make their decisions. And I know that this has been an extremely stressful and just traumatic year for everybody. But again, we can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel with these vaccines coming out and with the strong results that are shown. So I just want to encourage everybody to stay strong, still practice, again, that social distancing, hygiene, wearing your mask, all of those things are still important. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that is no better. There's no better feeling going into the new year than to be able to see that light. And with that, I got to head over to class because I'm a little late, but I wanted to brief you guys on everything that I learned. I hope that you guys found this educational and informative. But I gotta get to class, so peace out. I had a short class this morning, and I have another class this afternoon from about 1 to 3:30, and I'm actually giving one of my presentations then, so it'll be nice that that'll be done and that'll be out of the way. But the big highlight of today is that I'm finally going to the lab that I'll be spending so much time in during my basic research project. And again, I've never ever done basic research, and today is just a lab tour, but I'm super excited. You guys are coming along for the ride. But first, before then, I'm gonna clean up because you'll notice that when things get busy, things get messy. So I'm gonna clean the office, clean the house a little bit, freshen up, take a shower, and then I'm heading off to lab, and I'm super excited. The week's almost over and it's ending on a high note. So I'm gonna see you guys in a little bit after I get to this cleaning.
I got racks in my sack, hurt my back, frozen, neck is frozen, catch me rolling, I'm the chosen. Snow is falling, Elfie's calling. Check my list twice, most of y'all done. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack, hurt my back, yeah.
All right, guys, we made it. I just got out of the shower. It's about 10:45. My lab tour starts at 11:30. It takes about 15 minutes or so to get from my home to the parking lot, and then about like 10 or so minutes to get from the parking lot to the actual building. So we're gonna head out, give myself a ton of time. Blaze trooped it out with me. He's gonna get spoiled because it's almost break. Oh my goodness. Last week, buddy, we're almost done. And I feel like there's no better way to start break than in a clean home. It just feels good. It maximize that feeling of rest in a clean space. So, about to head out. Got my badge. Got my coffee. Good to go. See y'all there. All right, guys, we made it. You see, I had to put the big old coat on because it's still Rochester, Minnesota. But actually, to be honest, it's not even that cold right now. I don't need this big coat. And people here who live here are probably looking at me like, what is this guy doing? It's not even snow on the ground. But I like to be warm, y'all. All right, I'm gonna head over to campus and I will see y'all there.
Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing.
All right, guys, I just got home. It is now 12:59, so I'm rushing. I can't wait to fill you guys in about my research meeting. But class starts at 1, so I gotta go. Y'all. Pray I make it. All right, guys, so class is just finishing up. Presentation went well. I just checked my email and got some amazing news. Oh my gosh, it's from the Journal of Knee Surgery, a journal that I submitted a manuscript to, and it reads, "It is a pleasure to accept your manuscript entitled Predictors of Mid to Long-Term Outcomes in Patients Experiencing a Knee Dislocation, a Systematic Review of Clinical Studies in its current form for publication in the Journal of Knee Surgery." God is good, y'all. God is good. And this study was actually very meaningful for me because, as many of you know, I suffered my own knee dislocation a few years ago. And so to be able to do research on the long-term outcomes was a little depressing at times, but it was meaningful, and to have it published, that is a great feeling. This is now my 11th publication, and I primary authored this one. So this is the 6th primary author publication. So that is great news. That is a great way to finish the day. I'm so excited. And just finish this week, guys. This has been a good week. Busy, but a good week. Y'all, we made it. It is Friday. It's about 7:45 in the morning. I already finished my Anki and everything. All I have today is a quick presentation this morning. So I had a presentation. There were 2 presentations we had to do for yesterday, and just now 1 presentation for today. I had to write a few reflection forms, 6 essays for the class that I'm in. All of those are done. I just have 1 quick presentation this morning, and I am officially 1/8 a doctor, 1/8 to the MD. Oh, guys, this feels so good. But yesterday I never got around to telling you guys about the research meeting and the lab tour and everything. I was too excited after the publication, and me and Madison were just enjoying each other. So yesterday I had a lab tour of the lab that I'm going to be working in. So the lab is mostly cardiothoracic or orthopedic related projects, and of course I'm going to be leaning more towards those related to orthopedics. But there's going to be so many opportunities to get involved. There's such a collaborative nature in this lab, which is super beneficial, because apparently in some labs things can kind of get competitive, and certain people can kind of hoard their data, and it's just not a good environment. But that's not the case here. So I basically had a meeting where some of the people in the lab just came and explained something to me and one of my classmates who's also going to be joining this lab, just some projects that they have going on. They wanted to get a sense of where we were. And again, I was able to explain to them that I have absolutely no experience whatsoever in basic research or bench work or anything like that, which was perfectly fine. But it was good that they know that, because then They said that they're going to be able to teach me just some of the technique stuff. Just spend a few weeks learning the basic techniques of pipetting and, you know, anything like that. So that's going to be good. Make sure that I'm up to speed on just how the process of this stuff goes. And they also gave us a brief tour of the lab, which was really, really nice. Just to be able to see all of the crazy things that we have nowadays. And they were saying things like, you know, a few years ago we would actually have to count every single one of these cells, you know, as they populated this petri dish or whatever, you know, but now we have a robot to do that. You know, we put something in a robot, it counts everything that we need to do, take it out, write it down, which is always nice, being able to have the processes for things just being a little easier, especially not having too much experience with this. So I'm super excited for that. I'm probably going to start doing things over the next few weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to get into the lab during this holiday season since I'm staying in town. But we'll see. Of course, you guys will see along the way too. But as I get going and get comfortable in the lab and with everything that's going on, I'll of course keep you guys updated and fill you guys in, and you guys will see what kind of that lab experience is like doing this basic research in medical school. Again, I'm doing this alongside clinical research projects that I have going on. Research is something I'm very passionate about, so I'm going to be doing a ton of projects throughout the next 4 years. But again, I wanted to be able to have some experience with basic research because I have absolutely zero right now. So this is going to be exciting. So I just wanted to fill you guys in on yesterday's research kind of experience. Now I'm going to get ready for class. We have class today from 8 to noon. That's it. Every group is giving their presentations. We'll talk about each one, and then we're done. And then I am officially done with Science of Healthcare Delivery. I'm officially done with the first half of my first year of medical school. Wow, that is literally crazy. 1/8 of the way to an MD. So I'm just gonna bask in all of those feels. And I'm gonna get ready for class, and I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, we are group 4, and the gap we chose builds off the great presentation from group 5, and we wanted just to examine the needs of patients experiencing homelessness, specifically in Minnesota. Y'all, I am officially done. I just finished my last presentation. I am done. I am 1/8 of the way there to that MD. Now I have 2 weeks of just a rest. I'll be doing a selective week for this first week. It's a financial literacy selective, which is super interesting. But that, of course, is not going to be that constraining and that time restrictive. So I am on break, y'all. We are 1/8 of the way to that MD. Let's go. We hype, huh, Blaze? Are we hype? Are we hype? We on our way? Alright guys, it's about 7:30, the week is over. I'm going to be making a video soon giving a med school update on just the whole first semester of medical school, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I'm just going to be editing this vlog so I can get this out to you guys as soon as possible. I hope you all enjoyed this week in the life, and I'm so thankful for every one of you guys who've been rocking out with me so far. We are 1/8 of the way to that MD. First semester of medical school is already over. It's crazy how fast it's gone by. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, share. It shows a ton of support for the channel. And you guys are definitely going to want to stay tuned for the next leg of this journey. But of course, until the next one, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys soon.